Okay, hello, welcome everybody to lesson 1 of how to draw and paint. My name is Francisco, or Paco if you prefer. Actually, I sign my pieces of art with Don Paco, but that's a different story, so let's see. First lesson is about how to start, or decisions you have to make before you can really start painting. So it's a bit about what can I paint, how can I translate it into the shape of a canvas, how can I deal with the aspect ratio and such. But I don't want to make it too theoretical. I just want to show a few practical things. So yeah, let's kind of start. Normally you have a piece of paper, a sheet or a canvas, whatever, and you have to decide, okay, how the orientation should be, right? So you can choose landscape orientation, or this is called portrait orientation, and normally you use it for that, right? So portrait for portraits and landscape orientation for landscapes. But that is not necessarily necessary, right? So you can like put here a nice horizon and then paint a wonderful landscape, whatever. Or if you go for a portrait, you can like say, okay, I want to place the head here, right? So that it looks at me like this. Something of that sort. It's completely up to you. So how can you make these decisions? Well, normally it should be like an internal picture you have already, right? So if you look at the format you have and you think of a head watching to you like this, then that might work and you can start with that. Or even if you want to put like only a blue movement on the canvas, like this, the decision is much easier if you like visualize both, and then you know which way to go, right? Okay, there is, as with everything, important exceptions. Like, not every canvas has have a longer and a shorter side. You can use a canvas which is an exact square, right? So with this there is nothing like portrait or landscape. There is only one orientation, however you place the canvas. And you can also avoid the difficult decision to place one single topic at some single point of the canvas. You can just start scribbling somewhere and adding more and more stuff, and then decide, okay, I'll leave this square here open, or whatever you decide. So at some point of the process it may turn into a piece of art or not. That's your decision. But normally you don't do such crowded things, but you go, let's say, for one single topic, and you use, because most of the times it's really easier, you use a canvas which has an orientation. Okay, what will we draw or paint or whatever? Let's do something which is not too tricky, which is something in between a smiley and a real portrait. The smiley has the nice aspect of you just have a recognizable face, but you don't have to bother too much if it is male or female, old or young or whatever. It just should be a recognizable face, as, let's say, as naturalistic as we get. So don't bother too much about that either, because I don't want to influence your style. I just want to give you some hints how to start. So let's see, I'll do something. I normally don't do. I just will use here a board marker to visualize it for you. Normally I don't need this step, but if you need it, it might be a help. So let's go for a landscape oriented portrait. And let's say like, okay, we want to turn the face a bit inwards so that the view is like looking into the direction of the canvas, but also a bit towards you, right? So like, let's say, okay, I place an eye here and one like here, something of that sort. So you see, this will like create the need to decide, okay, so the face is more or less like here, right? And then the nose is not pointing exactly out of the canvas, but like a bit like this, right? Okay, we won't do it too fine-grained. It's just the basic idea. Okay, I have like a face here, right? You can also see the basic idea already just with these few strokes. It's no big magic. It's just like placing whatever you want to place on the canvas. So just to try to visualize it internally gives you the way how to make these decisions, right? It's not so much about planning it exactly and saying, okay, I want a face and then here I want something else. You can decide that later, but to start, you have to start somehow. And this means normally that you have to place something on something, right? So this is kind of the trickiest step actually, because you need like a feeling, how would it look like? And of course exercise is the trick, right? And there comes an important hint from me. Never correct anything. If you think, okay, that eye is kind of, let's say, too small, or like the orientation is kind of wrong, don't bother. Just keep going. You can like kind of correct later when you add details, or you can just leave it as it is. So like if you go for something more expressionistic, you can also place eyes like this. That's not a problem. That's completely up to you. Here we go a bit for naturalistic, and for this you may have to know a few things. Some people even use a ruler for that, but I wouldn't recommend that. Just keep going, just paint, and if the result isn't satisfactory, just paint it again or paint something else. Just get a routine, get acquainted with how things look like and such. So okay, let's see. One thing you should know is the space between two eyes is like one eye big. This is true when the face is watching straight to you, and the space gets a bit smaller when the face is turned a bit into that direction, and then of course this eye is even smaller. Okay, it should have more or less the same height. This is something we will do when we keep painting, or I can do it right now so that you get the feeling for it. So if you put like this here, and this like here, it kind of gets the same height, right? So don't try to erase anything, it's really not necessary. Just add more strokes and then you get a feeling how this like kind of could work. Okay, so this is basically what I want you to show, right? How to orient your sheet or your canvas and how to place something on it. The real trick is just to visualize it beforehand and then to have an idea how it could look like and then to just place it, right? Okay, give it a shot, and the second lesson will be about how to paint a face. So we will continue with this one, right? Okay, so see you next time, bye!